Welcome to Wealthwise. I'm Tom. Today, we tell one story about money. Today's story, the toy that almost didn't make it, the Lego story. Think about the toys you played with as a child. Maybe a doll, maybe a car, maybe a video game. But there is one toy that almost everyone has played with in almost every country in the world. Small plastic bricks. They connect together. You can build anything you imagine. A house, a castle, a spaceship, a dinosaur. These small bricks are called Lego. Today, Lego is the biggest toy company in the world. In 2024, it made more than $10 billion. There are more than 600 billion Lego pieces in the world. For every person on Earth, there are about 80 Lego bricks. But here is the surprising part. Lego almost died. Twice. The company almost went bankrupt in 2003. It was losing millions of dollars every day. Banks refused to lend them money. Experts said Lego was finished. So, how did a small wooden toy company from Denmark become the biggest toy company in the world? And how did it come back from the edge of death? Today, we tell the story of Lego, the toy that almost didn't make it. Let's go back to 1932, in a small town in Denmark called Billund. In 1932, the world was in crisis. The Great Depression had hit every country. People lost their jobs. Companies closed. Families had no money. In a small Danish town called Billund, a man named Ole Kurt Christensen was also struggling. Ole was a carpenter. He made furniture, chairs, tables, cabinets. He was good at his job, but nobody had money to buy furniture anymore. Then, something happened that made everything worse. Ole's wife died. She left him alone with 4 young sons. Ole was heartbroken, but he had to take care of his children. He had to find a way to feed them. So Ole did something new. He started making small toys, wooden cars, wooden animals, wooden piggy banks. People didn't have money for furniture, but maybe they had a little money to buy a small toy for their children. Ole worked in his workshop with his sons. They cut wood. They painted. They made toys. Ole wanted a name for his company. He asked his family for ideas. In the end, he chose a Danish phrase, "leg godt." It means play well. He put the first 2 letters together, leg plus got. He made the name Lego. Years later, Ole learned something interesting. In Latin, Lego means I put together. He didn't know this when he chose the name. It was perfect. Then, in 1942, disaster struck. The factory burned down. Everything was lost. All the wood, all the tools, all the toys. Ole was 51 years old. He had nothing. Most people would give up, but Ole didn't. He said, "We will build again." He borrowed money. He built a new factory. He started making toys again. In 1947, Ole did something that changed everything. He saw a new machine from England. It was a plastic injection molding machine. It could make toys from plastic, not wood. Many people thought plastic toys were cheap and ugly, but Ole believed in the future. He bought the machine. It was very expensive, almost half the company's yearly profit. With this machine, Lego started making small plastic bricks. They looked like normal bricks, but they could connect together. The first plastic bricks were not perfect. They didn't connect very well. They fell apart easily. Ole's son, Godfred, worked on the design. He wanted to make the bricks better. He wanted them to connect firmly, but also come apart easily. In 1958, they found the answer, a tube inside the brick. This simple idea, a small tube, made Lego bricks work perfectly. They are still made the same way today. A Lego brick from 1958 can still connect with a Lego brick made today. That same year, old Kirk Christensen died. He was 67 years old. His son Godfred took over the company. Godfred had a big idea. He didn't want to just sell bricks. He wanted to sell a system. A child could buy one set of Lego, then another set, and all the pieces would work together. You could build anything. A house today, a car tomorrow, a spaceship next week. Godfred called it the Lego system of play. This was genius. Parents didn't have to buy new toys every time. They could buy more bricks, and children could keep building forever. The company grew. In the 1960s, they opened an airport in Billund because so many people wanted to visit the Lego factory. That airport became one of Denmark's biggest airports. In 1968, they opened the first Legoland park. It was built from 50 million Lego bricks. In the first year, 625,000 people visited. For the next 30 years, Lego grew and grew. It became one of the most loved toy brands in the world. But in the 1990s, things started to change. Children had new toys, video games, computers, the internet. Lego looked old-fashioned. Sales started to fall. The company made a big mistake. They tried to do too many things. They made clothes. They made watches. They made video games. They made jewelry. They forgot what made Lego special. By 2003, Lego was in big trouble. They were losing $1 million every day. Their debt was huge. Banks said no to more loans. Experts said Lego would be gone in a year. Then a young man named Jorgen Vig Knudstorp took over. He was not from the family. He was a former teacher and consultant. He did something hard. He looked at the company honestly. He said, "We have forgotten who we are." Jorgen sold everything that was not Lego. The clothes, the watches, the jewelry. He sold the Legoland parks. He focused only on the bricks. He also did something smart. He listened to the fans. He asked them, "What do you want?" The fans said, "We want the Lego we loved when we were children. Classic sets, good quality, real creativity." Jorgen also made Lego connect with adults. He knew that many adults still loved Lego. So Lego started making more complex sets for adults. The Architecture series, the Creator Expert series, the Star Wars sets for collectors. This was smart. Adults have more money than children. And adults who loved Lego as kids now bought Lego for their own kids and for themselves. Lego also learned to work with big stories. Star Wars, Harry Potter, Marvel, Disney. Children saw these movies and wanted to play with the characters. Lego made sets for all of them. By 2005, Lego was profitable again. By 2014, it was the biggest toy company in the world, bigger than Mattel, bigger than Hasbro. Today, Lego is still a family company. The Kirk Christensen family. Yes, the name is spelled a little differently now, still owns it. They kept control when things were bad. They believed in the future. Old Kirk Christensen's great-grandson, Thomas Kirk Christensen, now helps lead the company. He remembers his great-grandfather's words. Only the best is good enough. Ole said this many years ago. It became the company motto, and it's still true today. In 2024, Lego opened a new factory in Vietnam. It is building more factories in the US and Europe. They are still growing, still making bricks, still helping children play well. And it all started with a poor carpenter who lost his wife, lost his factory, but never lost his dream. All right, Lego's story is one of the most inspiring in business history. But what can we learn from it? Here are 3 takeaways. Takeaway number 1. Stay true to your core. When Lego tried to do everything, clothes, watches, jewelry, they almost died. When they returned to their core, the brick, they became stronger than ever. So here's the question for you. What is your core? What is the one thing you do better than anyone else? And are you staying focused on it? Takeaway number 2. Crisis can be a teacher. Lego's near-death experience in 2003 was painful, but it taught them who they really were. It forced them to change. Without that crisis, they might never have become the world's biggest toy company. So ask yourself, what crisis in your life might actually be teaching you something important? Takeaway number 3. Listen to the people who love you. When Jorgen took over, he didn't just look at spreadsheets. He talked to Lego fans. He asked them what they wanted. They told him, make the bricks better. Make classic sets. Remember why we love you. He listened, and it saved the company. So here's the hard question. Who are your true fans? Your family, your friends, your customers? And when did you last really listen to them? 3 takeaways. Stay true to your core. Learn from crisis. Listen to your people. Pick one. Try it this week. And that's the story of Lego. A poor carpenter in a small Danish town. A fire that destroyed everything. A new machine that changed everything. A near-death experience that taught them who they really were. Here's what I want you to remember. Old Kirk Christensen started with nothing. He lost his wife. He lost his factory. He lost everything, more than once. But he kept going. And he left behind something beautiful, a toy that has brought joy to billions of children and adults all over the world. Now I want to hear from you. Did you play with Lego as a child? Do your children play with Lego now? What was your favorite set to build? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow or subscribe to WealthWise. It really helps other people find the show. Remember what old Kirk Christensen said, only the best is good enough. I'm Tom. This is WealthWise. See you next time.